Morning everybody, it's Chris here from Serene Education with the 4 Majors Analysis update for the 23rd of March 2011. Just having a look at our CTC this morning on our 6 time frames. Got the Euro in front of me. Just have a look at the daily time frame to see what's been happening. And we've seen a pullback after a noticeable uptrend. Trend direction still positive, trading well above the 20 period moving average. Notice how all the moving averages are well evenly spaced out, confirming a very tidy uptrend. And pair has tested previous high and pulled back subsequently. Okay, yesterday's pullback came around the 14,2500 mark, and we've seen consolidation, if I'm not mistaken. Consolidation on prior support and resistance. See that? The good thing about this pair is it's now trading above the 200 period moving average on a longer time frame, i.e. the 5-day here, and as long as it's going to do the same and we get ahead and push higher than the resistance level that we're seeing now on a daily time frame, it's 14,2500, then we could see further extensions to the upside. So pullback. Now pullback could be anything of a number of things. If the momentum is still there, then the pullback could be quite shallow, i.e. still hanging around the 23.6 mark or 38.2. However, if the pullback is quite significant, we could see 50 or 61.8 being tested. 61.8 would take it right back to the 1400 mark, prior resistance, i.e. this resist in the shape of this area here. Okay, and then we could see, look for another bounce to the upside. Why? Because the trend line as well as the prior high would be the new support area, hopefully. Okay, so breakout, see that, resistance, squeeze, bang, breakout, pullback, continuation. Pullback's happening at a resistance level, so there are a number of ways. You can either, if it fails to find support here at 23.6 mark on a daily, just above the 1600 mark, then we could see it fall to 38.2, which is going to be taken around the 1400 mark. If it fails to find support there, then it could take it right down to 50% around the 1405 mark. Okay, so those are designated areas intraday for possible points if it fails to rally and close higher than 14,2500 during the course of today. Intraday, CTC on 4 hour, the hourly, 30 minutes gone into negative. This is the pullback area now. You'll notice that on this time frame we have Asian low here around about the 1600 mark, which happens to be a very strong support and resistance going back. Make it 14,1550. So support. But you'll notice that we have lower swings now. Okay, so high at 1425. This is a 30-minute chart, guys. Then pullback, reattempt, failure at 50, then a failure at 20. So now it's trading below both the 50 and 20. The 200 is the next one. So failure to keep or hold on to the 1415 mark or 141550. Then we could see the 200 period moving average possibly coming in as a support area, and if that's the case, then 1415 over here is going to be our 23.6. so breakthrough on the 30 minutes would be the 23.6 mark on the 30-minute 200 break here, and then we could see on a daily we could see 1411 on the 30-minute 1411 being the next target, which is smack bang in between all the moving averages. Next up is sterling against US dollar, daily time frame. 1600 was a noticeable support and resistance area. but a strong one. And now we're seeing a bounce higher. I'm just looking at the wicks here. There's a resistance level above for this pair, and the closer we've got to 1400 or 1640, we've had a resistance level. Okay, little wick top as we pierce, pulled back. Now as we go into Asian session trading, we've got a bit of an indecision. Spinning top is the 1400 mark. Now the 1400 mark, if I just zoom out to say a 5-day, there's prior highs, support and resistance in the past. Notice if you're there. So price needs to be trading above 16,400, otherwise we've got this consolidation pattern taking place because of the prior ceiling level on the bounce and the indecision because of that. Intraday, you can see on our 4-hour that indecision as we've traded close to the 1640 mark, and we've had a pullback since. CTC is well extended. The hourly is exactly the same. CTC is in our favor, but 1640 is still the ceiling level. Got to break above that. You notice the pullback to the 20-period moving average acting as support. So want to see the price. That's the Asian low. Got to stay above the Asian low, 1634.00 to see a reattempt of the high. Otherwise, we're going to see price fall back to the breakout area yesterday at 1631.15 ish. That's where we had prior resistance in the breakout. Okay, the 30 minutes testing the 50-period moving average. You see the moving averages are looking very likely to cross. CTC is well extended on this pair, on this time frame. This was yesterday's breakout point here at 1631.5. Resistance breakout. Slight hesitation, continuation to the upside. And then into the resistance level now, which is at the 1640 mark. Got to be trading higher than that. But you'll notice that the highs are slightly lower than each other. So consolidation is in play. Ideally it needs to stay above the breakout of yesterday, but if it can stay higher than the Asian market high or low, apologies, at 1634.00, then we could see a reattempt of higher highs. So we're looking for possibility of another extension to the upside, reattempt of the 1640 mark, or we could see price testing lows during the course of today. That is sterling against US dollar. I'll be back next with the US dollar against Swiss franc. Okay, next up is US dollar Swiss franc daily. Hesitation yesterday on the Asian market. Pairs well extended to the downside. This after breaking the 3500 mark, so that's the major support area. Now trading well below it, and just recently we've seen US dollar gain a bit of strength against Swiss franc. But you'll notice as we've traded higher, more indecisions come into play, and yesterday we closed very indecisive on a spinning top, negative spinning top, and this morning in the Asian market even worse. I just want to do a retracement of that, and you see, yep, 23.6 being a very strong resistance level. Failure to break above this during the course of the day would see price revert to the downside. CTC is extended very big bearish, so we should look for potential further setting opportunities. So 23.6 is the 0.042 mark. Okay, so intraday 0.2 mark. Let's have a look at our hourly. 0.42. Yeah, there's that area there. Okay, staying below that. Notice the highs getting lower and lower and lower on this time frame. And if we're staying, and you'll notice that too, the lows getting higher. So we've got a squeeze pattern in play as we speak, and because the CTC is extended to the downside, look for a possibility of a push to the downside. thereabouts. It's trading higher than this going into US session. Then look for potential upside movement, still trading below the 0.42 mark going into the US session. Look for potential downside moves, primarily because it's still trading below each high. New high is lower than the previous one, and each new swing is higher to a degree. So we're squeezing now on the 30 minutes. It's got to be a give. Failure to break above 142 is trading. That's the first thing it's doing at the moment now. That's negative. It's trading below 0.42. So look for potential downside movement. That's it for the US dollar Swiss franc, the Swissy. I'll be back next with the last pair of the day, the US dollar Japanese yen. Okay, in front of me is the US dollar Japanese yen. After the intervention, we've seen US dollar rally against the yen pair, but as prices move higher or closer to 81.50, we've seen the indecision starting to creep in. And the Asian market this morning, we've seen exactly the same of what we saw yesterday: indecision, dojis, spending top formations. So very negative, or very indecisive at the moment. In a bear trend. Notice on the hourly though that we're still having the 200 period moving average acting as a ceiling level for this pair. Price has to break higher than that to confirm further upside movement. Until such time as it has not done that, we should still be looking for an opportunity for further selling for this pair. Okay, so the hourly is looking, setup is looking negative because we're getting lower highs as prices be moving sideways, and that's primarily because the 200 period moving average is acting as a strong resistance level, ceiling level. So straight away what we want to see is you can either put in the Asian market low, whether you're trading the wicks or you're trading the actual bodies. 80.78 is the low it needs to break, and it needs to be trading well above the 200 period moving average and the previous swing low. So 81.05, it needs to be trading above, well above, in order to see buying opportunities. I'm going to keep it that simple because there's not much else to show you on the chart other than that. So we're in a range at the moment now, consolidating. We're still, there's further, I mean, the longer it goes sideways, it's now come into contact with the 200 period moving average, but it needs to break that 200 period moving average. Remember, on a daily time frame, we've seen a consolidation, intervention, but we're still very negative on a daily. So just be aware that we could still see possible negativity creeping in, primarily because we're still in a negative trend. Intervention has happened, but that's not to say that we're going to see a pair moving high and high and high and high and high. It's not a definite. So there's more to it than just intervention from the government coming in. There's got to be some sort of reason why, a good reason why the institutions will continue to buy. So be aware of that negative, and we need, in order for this to continue looking bullish, and then obviously we need to see price trading well above the 200 period moving average. So to start with, it's got to be trading above the previous swing, and in this case over here it's 81.50. Ideally you want to be trading above 81.40, because then we're trading well above this consolidation pattern, and by doing so then we'll be looking at trading above this, and then we could be looking at an opportunity going up to 8200. So as it stands now, look for either a break lower than the consolidation that we're seeing here at roughly the 80.78 mark for low extensions, or breaking higher than 81.15.50 for higher extensions. That's it for today, guys. Hope you have a fantastic trading day. Keep it simple, follow the rules of the strategy, and most importantly, trade serenely.